Hey you, let's talk about blushing and triggers, environment, people, things, irritants that may be contributing to your blushing. Stick around. I understand that this is not the most ideal way to record this video, but here we are. If there are audio issues, I apologize in advance. I am outside of my normal office and sitting outside of karate because I really wanted to get this video recorded so that I can stay on top of my content for you guys. As I stated earlier, by the way, you're catching me at the end of the day. The message from me earlier was like fresh Monday morning, ready for the day, and this is the like aftermath. It's been a great day, but I ran 2 miles on my lunch break and the hair just had to get pulled back by the end of the day. So let's jump into triggers, environment, blushing, triggers for blushing, and how that relates to my story about my nose ring. If you've been around for a while, then you would know that when I was 18, I had a nose ring, and it was like this awesome way of expressing myself. And then I was trying to get a job in corporate, and the only way I could get my first corporate job is I was asked to take the nose ring out. So I did, because I needed a job. That was what I call the first step in betraying myself. It was the first act of let me not do what I want for the sake of this other thing. And again, I get it. Like sometimes we have to do that. Boo-hoo, April, you know, whatever. But for me, it was so much deeper than just getting my first job. It was truly an act of betrayal. At 38 last year, my family and I moved to South Carolina, and the first thing my daughter and I did, truly a week after we moved here, was we went and we got our nose pierced. And that was like this awesome, liberating moment for me of I do what I want to do and nobody can tell me that I have to take my nose ring out. Fast forward 8 months. 8 months, I had noticed over the time, like my daughter's was healing really nicely, and mine would heal a little bit, and then it would get super irritated or agitated just by the smallest little like bump to the nose. If I slept a little rough, if I have a toddler and he would swat at it, sometimes mine would get incredibly red and started getting this little bump. And I treated it and did all the things you're supposed to do for the nose ring. After 8 months, it was New Year's morning. We had celebrated New Year's Eve. Coming into the new year, it was probably about 1:30 in the morning. I was getting ready for bed, doing my skincare, and I looked at my nose and it just was sad. It was sad. It was like my nose was so sore, so agitated. If I have pictures, I'll insert them here. And it just, everything in my being was like, it's time to take it out. So I did. And the next morning, I did like first aid treatment on it and then went to bed. And the next morning, it actually looked a lot worse. And over the period of like a week or so, with constant care for it, but removing the irritant, which was the nose ring, I noticed that it started to be less red, less bumpy, and then it's, you know, been a little over a month now, and it's still healing. It's not all the way healed. You can still see the little bump there. But I removed the irritant and it had the opportunity to heal. What does that have to do with people who struggle with blushing? Environment means so much to your nervous system. Do you feel safe in your environment? Sometimes that might be that you're in a toxic work environment with a narcissistic boss or coworkers who are constantly in drama and you just don't feel safe in your environment. That could be family members that are in your life and you feel like, well, they're family and I have to stay attached to them because it's my family. Or it's friends that maybe have some long history with you and served you well as friends in the past, but as you've grown, you realize like they're not the greatest friends and you don't feel safe around them. Whatever the situation may be for you, because I don't think it's about not ever being uncomfortable, because I think there's a lot of growth that comes from being uncomfortable. That's a lot of times, you hear it all the time, like it all happens on outside of your comfort zone. Growth happens, opportunity happens. Everything you wanted is outside of your comfort zone. But if you are in environments that are agitating and irritating and creating pain, unnecessary issues for you, then you have to stop and look at, what am I allowing to be in my environment around me that is creating harm? And for people who are highly sensitive, I'm going to talk more about that in some future videos, because I've been listening to the audiobook Highly Sensitive People. I've looked through that book before, but oh my gosh, you guys, there are so many correlations for people who struggle with blushing and highly sensitive people. Like, I'm pretty sure you're one. If you're a blusher, you are a highly sensitive person, and that's not a bad thing. It's actually like a superpower. It's pretty awesome. Look forward to that in the future, so be sure to subscribe so you don't miss that type of encouraging video. But when it comes to my nose ring, what I was thinking about when I saw the irritation, and I'm like, all I have to do is take it out. Like, I can keep fighting this fight. Even the piercing office was like, because we stopped by there and I had them check it, and they were like, it may just need a little bit longer. But I just knew, I was like, it's not gonna heal. When I had my first one, I remember that I had a really hard time getting it to heal. And then I eventually took it out for my job, so it never really got the opportunity to heal. But I had major issues with it, with getting a bump on it, and then I had to go back to the piercer, and they had to like it was like a whole thing. So I know that I already didn't have the best experience with it when I was 18. At 38, I was way more responsible, and at 38, I was way more responsible and taking care of myself. So to the fact that I was having the same experience, it was my body saying, help me, get this thing out of here, save me. And so I see the correlation between people who are in extremely toxic environments. Like for me, I come from a history of toxic work environments where even now I've been in an incredibly safe environment for 2 years, but I go through the motions of certain acts sometimes that my body is reminded of, this is dangerous, this is dangerous. I'll insert a picture here. You guys are gonna see me on a Zoom call. And yeah, I think there's a couple pictures here where you can see I was having a call with some high-level executives at my company that are extremely, extremely safe, but I'm talking through some very honest stuff, and my body is having a full-blown reaction in these photos. Just a fight or flight reaction to, this is danger, abort the mission, get out of here, stop talking. And I know I'm in a safe environment. So your body's living in the past because it's what it knows. And we want to get our bodies into the present, into what we want it to operate out of. If we keep putting it back in a toxic environment, it's hard for your body to ever think it's safe because it's not safe. So it'll continuously have this reaction. If you get your body out of the past and into a safe environment, well, get yourself in a safe environment first, and then your body will start to move out of the past because you're writing a new story based on the outcomes of the present. So my body in those pictures is having a reaction to, you are being extremely vulnerable and open and very direct and firm and honest in front of decision makers in a company. That has not served you well in the past. Abort the mission. Let's keep you safe. My whole body is going into fight or flight, and it is showing through my skin because that's how I show it. Other people sweat, other people shake. It's just, some of us turn red, and I'm one of those people that turn red. And because I'm continuing to go through the motions in my mind, what you don't see in these pictures, I can see myself on that Zoom. I can see that my shoulders are up. Sorry for this light right here. It's just where I'm sitting. I can see my shoulders are up. I can see I'm tense. I can see that I'm like fidgeting and moving around because I'm uncomfortable. And I see those behaviors in me, and I'm like, what would my body be doing if it knew it was in an incredibly safe environment? Well, number one, I would lower my shoulders. I would breathe from the diaphragm. I was definitely chest breathing. So I would breathe from the diaphragm. I would be still. I would, because I had this super pensive look on my face because I was prepared for fight or flight, and I would relax my jaw. I would just be in a more relaxed state because there's nothing to fear here. What would I be fearing? And as I started to breathe normal and put my body into a state of safety, even though everything inside of me was feeling danger, 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 I've been in the good environment long enough to know you are safe here. We just got to get our body into this state of living because it's still stuck in the past, because there's 19 years of corporate trauma, 18, 19 years or something like that, as opposed to 2 years of some safety. So that it needs a little time. I would say my beliefs are there, but my body needs to catch up. And the more those two are working together in unison, the more we're going to have healing. That is the same story I'm telling you about my nose ring, is that there was something there that was irritating and agitating and creating harm. And until I removed the thing that was creating the harm, I wasn't going to have the healing. I invite you to look into your life and even maybe take a piece of paper and write down those irritants in your life. Like, what is it in your life where you get super flushed, blushed, triggered in that fight or flight response? Is it in your work environment? Is it with your boss? Is it with coworkers, friends, family, certain environments that you're in? And then start to explore, do you have to be there? I think for a lot of people, especially with our jobs, we think that like, well, I can't just leave. Well, why can't you? Why can't you leave? You can absolutely leave. It's about, do you want to leave? Are you willing to do the work to leave? And if you're not, that's fine. But at least you will know that that's a trigger point for you. And it's going to continue to most likely be a trigger point for you because you're not making a change. Hey, thank you for listening in today. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, please give it a thumbs up because it really helps support this channel. Be sure to subscribe. That also helps to support the channel and let people know that we're here. People who are dealing with flushing and blushing and erythrophobia, they need to know that they're not alone. I get messages all the time through different social media outlets with people telling me that they're so grateful that they found the channel, that they found Blushing Phoenix, that they found you in your responses in the comments. So just thank you for your support. And I invite you to check out Dr. Madeline D. Hawk's TEDx talk that she did in regards to blushing and environment and how she overcame blushing through environment. It's an incredible TEDx talk. I'll link it below. As well as I had the honor of interviewing Dr. Madeline D. Hawk here on Blushing Phoenix, and I'll link that below for you as well, so you can check out that video. She has a course if you want to go check out her website. I'll leave all that information below for you. And be sure to head over to blushingphoenix.com and sign up for our newsletter. I've been working on getting those out weekly, and I hope that those create some sort of value for you and bring you encouragement and tips and all the things that could be of help to you. Listen, you are not alone, and you are so much more than redness. You can change through transformative action. Change your beliefs, you will change your life. We are on the journey together. See you next time.